I've had a few really relevant dreams that have made me conclude that something just doesn't feel right about what's going on. Something is off. And I don't know if it's necessarily in an evil way. I'm not necessarily sure if it's in like an accidental way, but the dreams that I've had recently have revealed to me that something's off, and it's like too calm. It's just too calm out there. And the reason that I think that this is because, well, in the dreams that I've had, I had this dream where I was helping Liberty, who was a woman. I was helping Liberty find her brother that was put in prison. And she was telling me how sorry she was to have to bother me to go through this kind of stuff, but she doesn't know who else to talk to about it. And I said, look, I see through you. I know who you are. I accept you as Liberty. And she was just so confounded and so blessed, she felt. But at the same time, it was like something sinister was going on with her brother that she didn't know about. And she didn't realize just how much people are going to be involved with this kind of demonic activity. Then I had another dream this morning where I was riding a bike through the neighborhood, and I saw all of these people going to vote and me choosing not to vote because I didn't trust the system. And then come to find out that after everybody's votes were cast, there was this old guy that was taking all of the votes, and then he was cutting them up while he was cutting like these hedges, like in a yard. And I stopped and I asked him what was going on, and he said, oh, I'm just cutting the hedges. I'm just cutting the hedges. And I tried to get him to say, like, no, there's something else going on. But because I saw something weird going on, but he didn't really say anything else about it, and he refused to talk about it. Well, why is this important? Well, because over the past couple days, Joe Biden has been his most elite form from what I've seen. Like, that guy has not missed a beat and skipped a beat. It seems like all the dementia that he's had for the past 4 years is poof, it's gone. And Kamala gave her best speech ever the other day in her concession speech. It was, even though obviously she's reading from a teleprompter, but still, she was giving the best speech of her life. Like, I've never seen anything like it, and I had to give it to her. Like, she sounded like a really reasonable, classy candidate. I was like, what is this? Well, now to come to find out, Joe Biden, like yesterday in his speech, he was very congratulative of Donald Trump. He was smiling like a kid in a candy store, man. That kid was happier than that guy was happier than a kid in a candy store, for sure. But now to come to find out, certain celebrities have fled the country to an undisclosed location. They're not telling you where they're going. Apparently, the Obamas have fled the country. And meanwhile, we're all here in America watching the liberal women and some of the men cry their eyes out, literally mourn for days on end about the election results. And the conservatives and Christians of this country are celebrating, and I don't think it's right to celebrate. Like, I don't think it's right to just, celebrate, because what exactly are you celebrating? It's not like things are going to get better overnight, and it's not necessarily like we need to stop being an attack formation, because there are still ways that these people are going to try to coerce us into gay communism still. Like, there's still that. And communists don't just go away. That's something else. I don't know what y'all are thinking. Like, communists don't just walk away from what they want. Communists are like consumerists in their relationships. They just consume things. Okay? That's all they are. So if they're not consuming here, they're consuming somewhere else, or they're like licking their wounds. I don't know. I don't even know if they have wounds. And here's another thing I just thought about. Jill Biden, Joe Biden's wife, the first lady of the United States right now, allegedly, she wore all red, like GOP Republican red, to the ballots and to the polls, like to vote the other day. Seems to me like she was sending a message. I don't know. But it's too calm. Like that's kind of where I'm at. Like, it's too calm. I had dreams of riots. I had dreams of brawls. I had dreams of excessive violence. I had dreams of the corruption in the military for months. Like the last few months. Ever since Trump's first assassination attempt, I've had so many different kinds of dreams that are violent and apocalyptic. And I'm still having similar kinds of dreams, but not exactly in the same way, like as I just described to you this morning. And the reason why I rely so heavily on dreams to guide me is because in the pandemic, before the pandemic even happened, like a month or two before, I had a dream that there was an invisible ball of death that would come down and lay waste to the land, where everybody would have to stay in their houses until the snow came down. Okay, what happened? Like, and I've had several prophetic dreams like that. I'm not saying I'm a prophet or anything. I'm just saying that I've had dreams that I know for a fact were given to me by the Most High himself. But something about all of this just seems a bit strange. Like, something about all of this just seems a little bit too... Like, something seems too good to be true. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm tripping, guys. Maybe I'm tripping. But are we missing something? Like, are we missing something? Why exactly would they concede so easily? And now there was some, like, weird things going on in Georgia. Like, there was the bomb threats on election night in Georgia, and there was some weird stuff going on in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania as a whole in election night as well. And I know from my own research that there's also stuff, like funky stuff going on in the House and the Senate races in other states still, because they haven't called certain places. But for the most part, like, I don't know, guys. It seems too calm. It seems too calm. And look, they tried to kill Trump. And I'm fairly confident that it wasn't, like, Trump was not somebody that was a part of whatever it was that they were trying to collude with. I'm fairly certain about this. Why? Because it's pretty dang hard to shoot a gun like that from 150 yards away and only nick the ear at the precise second that somebody turns their head. Like, it just seems, to me, that looked, if I were to just look at that, what happened, and not have any kind of affiliation or affection or whatever for anybody, which I don't, but if I were to just look at that, it seemed like God did not want him to die that day. That's what it looked like to me. Whether it's for better or for worse, I don't know, but God did not want him to die just yet. But this is all a stage. We've got to recognize that this is all a stage, and it's okay to look at what's happening and say to ourselves, okay, like, is something else missing? Because it feels like it does. It feels like something exactly is wrong with, again, I don't know what it is. I don't know, but it's too calm. It's too calm out here to think that all of this buildup for the last years and years and years is just kind of poof, gone away. The only thing that I can think of, because it doesn't feel like the enemy is vanquished. It kind of feels like in Lord of the Rings, where Sauron is defeated but not vanquished. That's kind of what it feels like. It's like the Sauron is still there, but we don't like. But he's not vanquished. Like he's defeated, but he's not vanquished. And I don't know who Sauron is in this metaphor, but the point is I don't know if there's even one person. I think it's like a collective group of highly wealthy families and organizations across the world that are involved in this kind of thing. But something doesn't feel right. Oh, this was another thing I wanted to talk about. Putin congratulated Trump on his courage and bravery in his election yesterday. So it looks like Putin respects Trump. Okay, and you know, I would rather have a president that's respectable than not, because it didn't seem like anybody respected Joe Biden. And nobody did around the world. And we were the laughingstock for the last 4 years. We were the comedy club for the last 4 years. I mean, the way that we got out of the Middle East and all of these politics, like the identity politics and such, like, it's just a mess. But something just doesn't feel right. I want to know if I'm not the only one that feels this way. And because it's just too, something is just too right about this. It's too good to be true in some sense. And I didn't vote, obviously. And so, because I don't think Trump is the answer. But I would rather have a Freemason than a witch she-demon in the presidency. Whether or not they're both puppets or not, I would rather have somebody that's more in line with the Freemasons, even though that's, again, not in alignment with the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments, and it is like a dark magic, but still, I would rather have somebody like that. I don't even want to choose evil. Like, people will say, well, it's the lesser of two evils. And I understand where people are coming from, because I've had multiple YouTube comments about this kind of thing. Multiple YouTube comments. And I get it. I understand what you mean, because sometimes you have to choose between, like, tyranny and famine, for example. But the thing is if I don't have to choose either of those, I'm not going to. Like, I'm not even going to entertain that. So I choose to forge my own path and live in accordance to the natural law and the natural spiritual law, which is laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. And praise Yeshua for that, because there are certain things happening right now that just don't make sense. Why did they concede so easily? If they tried to kill Trump once, they're probably going to try to kill him again. I still am kind of confounded, and I don't understand if it's because the will of the people is so strong, or is it because there's something else going on? Like, did they just want to see where the American people are at? Like, are the American people just a little bit more awake and listening to their inner strength and understanding their inner power more so than the elites and the pedos want us to be? You know, why are all these celebrities that are connected to Diddy just boof, gone, and they're not saying anything anymore? What is happening? Why is it that we have people like Aiden Ross being shouted out at presidential victory speeches? Like, hello? What is going on? What world? It's all a stage, I know that, but I mean, it's like we're watching the movie, and some people know that it's just a movie, and they're not too emotionally invested in it. But others are like, you see them celebrating, others you see them bawling their eyes out, and they're just way too caught up in what they perceive to be going on that they just don't really see and have the discernment to know that it's just a show. Like, this is just a show, okay? So, who knows what's really happening? I stand by this. I said this after the election on Wednesday, and I stand by this. Stay in attack formation. We must stay spiritually relentless. Okay? We have to keep our eyes peeled, be sober and be vigilant, like Peter says in the Bible. Okay? We have to stay vigilant in these times because eternal vigilance is the price of sovereignty and freedom. So with all that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful. If you do want to join the Regal Change Academy and you're looking for a godly community, you can join the free Discord in the link in the description box below, where we've got a ton of different kinds of resources and people in there available to interact with and chat with. And then we also got the paid community where we meet once a week in a group call and once a week doing a Bible study, as well as other classes that are available that you can take in there. And I want to thank everybody moving from YouTube over to X and Rumble, specifically moving over to X. I do think X is going to be the place to go in the next couple years, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can accomplish there and building another part of the Regal Change brand in multiple places and avenues. So with all that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful, and until next time, peace be with you.